are from Group 6 and we will present about one of the literature era that is the Romantics. But before it, let us introduce ourselves first. So, my name is Akila Kanzai Rahman and my friends.
And my name is Ademantika Pratama Putri.
My name is Adela Fatihah.
And my name is Azwana Shifa. Please give us your attention and keep watching.
So, for the first is the Romantic Poets. So, the first important figure from early Romantics is William Blake. He grew up poor in London, went to art school, apprenticed as an engraver at the age of 14, and also lived by engraving. He known as the earliest Romantic period writers, and also when he was a teenager, he painted poetical sketch but not published. For example, The Painter of Samuel Palmer. He also opposed the ruling intellectual orthodoxies, political, social, sexual, and ecclesiastical, with a marked contempt for these materialists. Censorius priest and the president of the Royal Academy, Sir Joshua Reynolds. And he believed that human reality was political, spiritual, and divine. His works of poetry, that are Songs of Innocence, in 1789, uses the rhythmical quatrains of Isaac Watts' Divine Songs for Children, repeating and twisting words and sound to make a discord with a childhood vision. And after that, Songs of Experience in 1794 contain what have become his most celebrated poems, that are The Sick Rose, The Tiger, and London. These poems are some of the first to romanticize children, and these works pit the innocence and imagination of childhood against the harsh corruption of adulthood, especially within the city of London. He is also known for his beautiful drawings, such as illustrated in a book by Mary Wollstonecraft, and drawings which accompanied most of his poems, especially Songs of Innocence and also Songs of Experience. But actually, scholars have made the letter Black less obscure due to prophetic myths of political and sexual liberation. So the second is William Wordsworth, lived in 1770 until 1850. He is son of Stewart of the Lonsdale Estate, Westmoreland. And at 1778, he becomes a boarder at Hawkshead School. And at 1791, he is in France. He attended the grammar school near Cockermouth and Prickett School at Penrith, the home of his maternal grandparents. He is one most central figures and important intellects. He is remembered as a part of spiritual and epistemological speculation that concerned with the human relationship to nature and the language of conversation, including the use of vocabulary and speech patterns in the middle and lower classes of society. Part- Partly due to the moment of crisis that made the poet be a defender of human nature. He also best known for lyrical ballads, which shows a clear democratic tone and was a collaboration with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, or with Wordsworth as the main author. Also for the Prelude, a romantic epic poem chronicling the growth of Poe's mind. He also analysis of how the media excited both urban audiences is Republican and idealist, not populist. Also shows the 18th century austerity which kept extravagance out of his work. Wordsworth's well-known works that are The Solarity Reaper in 1807 that expresses the beauty of music and shows the outpouring of expression and emotion that Wordsworth felt was necessary in poetry. And for the second is the Prelude in 1850, a semi-autobiographical conversation poem that chronicles Wordsworth's entire life. And the third is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, lived in 1772 until 1835. He is known for his imaginative and mystical poetry, and also was a central figure in the Romantic movement, known for his profound influence on poetry and literary criticism during the late 18th and early 19th century. His exceptional gift produced five absolutely remarkable poems that are the Ancient Mariner in lyrical ballads from the same period, Frost at Midnight, and the fragments Kublahan and Christabel, unpublished until 1816. He is the center of Clarice critical thinking, in which literature is less a work of art than a natural product of the imagination. When in Biographia Literaria, he enlarged Wordsworth's ideas of poetic, diction, and rhythm. Biographia Literaria is an attempt to give his literary life and opinions on poetry more systematically. He also emphasized the importance of imagination in poetry, viewing it as vital force that transcends reality and connects the human experience with the divine. The Rime of the Ancient Mariner is a complete ballad narrative poem of a voyage to the South Pole that explores themes of nature, guilt, and redemption, showcasing Collard's mystery of the supernatural and the sublime. Kubla Khan is a poem that reflects Collard's fascination with exotic imagery and the power of dreams, illustrating an interaction between imagination and reality. The Romantic Revival often drew on Percy's relics of ancient English poetry, or three volumes 1765, fourth edition 1794. Bishop Percy, who translated from Chinese or Iceland's Spanish, and Hebrew, collected old songs, ballads, and romances in English and in Scots, often in improved version. And in 18th century, antiquarianism is the romancing of the past, was the source of 19th century Romanticism.
Next is Sir Walter Scott, was born in 1771 and died at 1832. Scott began a translating German imitation romance and collecting the minstrelsy of the Scottish border, continuing the work of Percy and the Scott Musical Museum. His romance are The Lay of the Last Minstrel 1805, First Verse Romance, is a medieval tale of food and magic which takes clues from Christabel, Marmion and the Lady of the Lake, until Byron captured his market. Scott also wrote novels anonymously. The next is additional notes, subjectivity. The novel element in lyrical ballads were defined and given impetus by the preface Wordsworth in 1800. The quality and impact of the poem, lyric poetry, and imaginative literature were permanently altered. The comic impulse recorded in the 18th century. Grace lies between London and the lakes. The poet is becoming a special interpreter of special truth to a special reader, not a general truth to the common reader. As poetry became more subjective, literature began to be defined as imaginative. Next is Romanticism and Revolution. European Romanticism or Pre-Romanticism start in the 1760s. Literary work in this era. Rose's Julie, Ola novel, 1761. Goethe's The Sorrow of Young Werther, 1774. French Romantics were radical and liberal, but English Romantics divided. Pain 1737 until 1809, a hero of American Revolution and radical author of The Right of Man 1791, was welcomed in France. In 1793, France declared war on England. Blake was the only romantic to stay true to his vision in middle age. Coleridge and Wordsworth lost faith in utopian solution and by 1815 had turned to the Church of England.
And then we move to some of figures from young romantics. First is Lord Byron. He is one of the most prominent figures of the Romantic movement, was an influential poet and a key representative of the era's themes of passion, rebellion, and individualism. His works combine lyrical beauty with dramatic themes, pushing the boundaries of poetic form and content. Wordsworth internalized the external topics of 18th century sensibility into a new personal poetry. Byron processed the result for export. Comparison makes clear the broadness of Byron's attitude. Byron worked the crowd with romances and dramatic poems in fluent verse, posing as himself. Only his liberalism, egotism, and skepticism were sincere. Childe Harold's Pilgrimage is a narrative poem following the journey of disillusioned young men, reflecting themes of wanderlust, melancholy, and the search for meaning. It established Byron's reputation as a leading poet of his time. Don Juan is a satirical epic that reinterprets the legendary figure of Don Juan, presenting him as a charming but naive character. The poem critiques societal norms and explores themes of love, politics, and morality. Byron's poetry is characterized by its emotional intensity, vivid imagery, and innovative use of matter and rhyme. He often employed a conversational tone, making his work accessible and engaging. His exploration of personal and political themes resonate with the Romantics' ideals of freedom and individualism. Lord Byron's impact on literature is profound. He inspired future generations of poets and writers with his exploration of complex characters and themes. And the second figure is Percy B. Shelley. He believed in vegetarianism, pacifism, and free love for marriage. He thought enslaved women. Shelley worked in several styles like revolutionary satire, philosophical fiction, and urban letters and preferred his lyrics to his radical philosophical and political poems. Shelley's work in philosophical works like Mont Blanc, Prometheus Unbound, and The Triumph of Life. Shelley's work in pastoral elegy works like named Adonines. Sorry. Shelley's work in lyrics work like When the Lamb is Slaughtered and the choruses from Hellas. And the last figure is John Keats. He born in 1795 and died in 1821. In contrast to Shelley, Keats focused on aesthetic beauty and sensory experience in his poetry. His major works, like Ode to a Nightingale, Ode on a Grecian Urn, and To Autumn. His key trait is celebration of beauty in nature and art, rich metaphorical language, and the last is reflection on mortality and immortality.
Last of the last, the romantic prose. The first is Bell's Letters of the Figures, Charles Lamb. His birth 1775 to 18. The first is Bell's Letters of Figures, Charles Lamb. His birth 1775 to 1834. His works, Time of Sac- His work, Time of Seeker's Birds, 1818, and Essay of Elia, 23, an influential English essayist, poet, and critic, known for his unique contribution to Romantic movement, particularly through its is his essay and personal reflection. He combines elements of romantical with a focus on the experience of life. The tour, followed by his friends, lingers in the China and in the two races of men. Just are the men who borrow and the men who lend. Some figures contain considered one of the first works of science fiction. Some figure of fiction. Thomas Love Peacock, born October 18, 1785, Weymouth, Dorset, England, died January 2, 3, 1864, an English novelist and satirist known for philosophical satires just as named Moore Abbey. Marie Shelley, born August 30, 1797, London, England. Died, died February 1st, 1851. An English author best known for Frances Maria and George Ward, born January 1st, 1768. Oxfordshire, England. The died May 22, 1849, an Irish writer known for educational and social novels including Castle Rackrent. Third, Wallace Scott, born August 15, 1771, Edinburgh, Scotland. Died September 21, 1831, a Scottish novelist and poet, pioneer of the historical novel genre, famous for invasion and religious referenda. And the last of the last, towards Victoria. Victories of the Victorian age began to appear liberal legislation, thriving middle class, industrial advance, prolens, prolens, pro, nah, ini kat ya, prolens, prole, pro, proles, proletarian unrest, proles, Florarian unrest, religious religious renewal. When Victoria came to the throne, the warning voice of Cable and Charlie Cordeline were audible. The young Whiters, Tennyson, Tennyson, the Brownings, and the last circle take cry and discants for works like Pride and Prejudice, focusing on middle class life